Welcome to Be Healthy Podcast, the best way to discover practical tips and holistic health information from amazing wellness experts and real people with incredible health journey stories to inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Today, we have a very inspiring story. I can't wait to share that with you. We have a very special guest, and she has so many tips and so much wisdom to share with you. If you have been experiencing any type of chronic problems, I am sure that you're going to learn a lot. Then stay until the end, that you make sure you take notes to all the tips that we're going to share today. And hi, guys, my name is Anna Marino. I'm a self healing specialist, a physical therapist, a best selling author, and a public speaker. I heal myself before, and I know you have the power to heal yourself too. And today is my pleasure to introduce you Jennifer Garcia. Jennifer has a background in psychology and a Master of Art in Clinical and Counseling Psychology. She has been married for 25 years to her soulmate, Steve, and they are the cutest couple together. And she has two wonderful young adult children, Nicholas and Nathan. Jennifer has been diagnosed with many chronic conditions before, including multiple autoimmune disorders, and she has also overcome stage 3 cancer on her tongue. She is thriving, and she's gonna share you all the secrets of how she's doing so well right now. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Anna. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like almost a graduation day for you. Like you like
It feels like yeah, it does.
yeah, it's like a mastery. I always talk about with my clients, like the goal of self-healing, it's getting to the mastery stage and where you have all the tools, you know what to do, you know when to do it. And I feel like you are definitely a living proof that mastery is possible. That it makes me so happy and so excited to be sharing this space and share with everyone all the wisdom that you learned throughout this amazing journey that you had.
Thank you. And I think one thing to note is even though I'm at mastery, I still have good days, I still have bad days, but now I know what to do and I bounce back faster.
Yes, and I think that's a really good point for everyone that's listening to this to understand, right? It's like life is not a flat line. We're going to talk more about that later. And we do have good days and bad days, and it is just so empowering when we know you have tools. Then we don't feel powerless. We don't feel like, what am I going to do when I have bad days? Bad days will happen. It's part of life. But knowing what to do about it, that is the key. And that's so
I
important.
agree.
All right, then let's start from the beginning. It was a few years ago when I met you, and I remember you walking into my office and you had pain everywhere.
Everywhere.
And can you tell us a little bit more about how was that before? Like what was your life when I first met you?
Everything hurt. Everything hurt. My neck, my shoulders, my back, my legs, my joints. Um, Everything hurt, and I was having severe migraines that were debilitating. Um, and I just was I was also in what you call a functional freeze, where I remember you asking me how I was doing, and I said, I'm okay. I was just living like this. No ups, no downs. Just I just was getting by, but I didn't even know it at the time.
I'm so glad that you bring it this point, Jennifer, because I see that so often, especially for the population that are suffering with chronic problems. In general, we learn how to compensate, we learn to survive. And that
Yeah.
survival state sometimes coming with the freeze. It's like, I don't feel the good, I don't feel the bad. It's this flat line. And
Yeah.
we don't even know that we are in that flat line. I can't tell you how many times I start working with patients and they're like, I'm fine. And then few sessions down, it's like, oh my gosh, John, I was not fine at all. And I had
Yeah.
no idea. And I'm not stressed at all. I don't have any stress on my life. Everything's perfect. Usually when you talk to someone, you hear that, you gotta put a yellow flag there. It's like, huh,
Yeah.
everything's perfect forever, like hours. Like,
Yeah.
are you feeling the goods too? Like, are you having joy? Are you having happiness?
Yeah.
Because when we have this flat line, we don't have neither. We don't have the joy, the compassion, the love, the happiness, and we also don't have the down days. We don't have the
Right.
sadness, the anger, the frustration. Then, as part of human, like a normal human nervous system, we want to be able to have a stress response when it's appropriate and then go back to having a really good day and relax and feeling good and love your husband and having this amazing experience with your kids and like having the
Yeah.
joy of living as well is so important. And
I did not have that, but I didn't know it.
exactly, and that's like for someone that kind of like maybe question themselves right now, is like, I wonder if I am on that place where I don't know. Like, is there any tip for someone that came from a place of didn't know to like, wow, I had no idea and realizing that after, was that something that came to you that it helped you to like recognize what was happening?
I think it was something you said early on in one of our sessions was that you had the feeling I needed to move more and to get things out. Because one thing I did have was anxiety. I had a chronic state of anxiety. And so I came home and I just told my husband what I was going to be doing. And I remember just like, walking in place, swinging my arms, just getting things moving again, literally. That was huge.
And when you allow your body to move, it was easier for you to recognize the emotions. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I
that's so good.
I
So
could
good.
feel the anxiety coming out. And I think that was that broke the ice of me not feeling.
Mm. I love what you're saying that because a lot of times I see people coming to the office and they're fidgeting, like like they have the restless leg, or they just kind of like they can't sit still.
Yeah,
And that's a very common symptom when your nervous system is deregulated, that you just can't have that regular flow, ups and downs, and it just keeps on that constant state of like something's wrong, something's wrong,
yeah,
something's wrong, right? And kind of allowing you to even have the awareness. And I always talk about awareness is always the first step.
yes,
Right. And the moment that you had the awareness, you're like, oh, hold on a second, that's not comfortable anymore.
yeah.
And then you open the door for the rest of the experience to actually come. Then you came from this place of like really challenging, very limited, couldn't do much. Like how did you envision your healing? Like, did you think that you could ever be where you are right now at that day?
No. And that's one of the things I want to focus on is that you need to believe first that anything is possible. I'm calling it dare to hope. And when I met you, I had such a strong feeling that you could help me that I dared to hope to get better. And I did.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And one thing I always say to patients when you come from this place of mistrusting, I don't know if it's possible, it didn't work before, what if it doesn't work now, right? Especially when you've been in chronic pain, in chronic problems for so many years. How many years were you? Like 15,
Uh, I'm trying to think. It was about 16 years.
16
Yeah.
years? Yeah, then it's like it makes sense. It's like you gotta work a little bit with that hope. And one thing they always say when you're first starting, because it's hard to have that dare to hope that you were saying right on the beginning when you don't know, when you're not sure.
Yeah,
But it's important to start noticing the small little changes.
yeah,
And I think that was one of the things that made such a difference in how fast you heal was like
yes,
every single change you had, you were celebrating, you were like so
yeah,
excited, and you were really holding on to that hope. Okay, it's possible. See, I
yeah.
changed a little bit. We are going on the right direction. Keep going.
Yes, yes. And the academy helped with that because I could share my wins in there.
Mm. That's the power of community. Like, I love how we create a community inside of our membership where we allow those experiences to be shared because it's a skill. We're actually doing a challenge this month specifically to encourage us to build that skill to share the wins because it's not something we learn in society. We learn in
No,
society of looking what's wrong, look what's missing, looking what how much more work you have to do. And part of this healing journey is focus on the wins. I call the hashtag wins, right? It's
yeah,
like hashtag wins, like what is your little tiny wins? Let's celebrate that because it amplifies.
yes,
So
yes.
important. And I think you mentioned on that note as well the power of gratitude.
Oh, yes. And I know gratitude's a big buzzword,
Mhm.
but I'm talking about when I was in, and we'll get to this, when I was in, some of my lowest times, I would wake up and I would say, I'm grateful for my legs. I'm grateful for my knees. I'm grateful for my hands,
Mm,
because there was so much to be distressed about. I had to find the good.
mm.
And that helped me tremendously.
Yeah, then you already touched on two major points, hope and gratitude. If you guys,
Yes.
hopefully you take notes there. I'm taking my notes here, sure. Like take your notes there. Hope and gratitude is so, so important for your healing journey. Then, all right, then let's go back to the timeline that you came, you were having a really hard time. You start doing some of that work, you start to unfreeze and you start feeling your emotions. And then what happened?
Then we all went into COVID lockdown. And the only person that wasn't bothered by it was me because I was feeling the best I had felt in over 10 years. I was doing yoga, I was taking walks, I was cooking, I was, shopping online, because we couldn't go out. But yeah, I was the strongest I was in 10 years, and that lasted about 10 months
Mhm.
until, my healing journey wasn't a straight line. And I think that's the other thing that I want to let people know. Sometimes it's not just here to here, it could be here to here to here to here.
I would say 100% of the time is like that. It's always
Okay.
goes ups and downs, and we have a flare up day, and the things get better, and it goes down again, and things get better. It's kind of like when I think about the healing journey, it's like people think that's like this, right? And in
Yes.
reality, it goes like this. It's still going up,
Right.
but you have a little dip in between, and then you keep going up. But
Yep.
it's definitely not a straight line. And in your
Yep.
case, especially because you had a whole new diagnosis to
I
deal with.
know.
That tell us what happened. And you were feeling so strong, life was great. You're like, oh my gosh, I got this. I took my life back. And then
We
what?
were up in the mountains and I noticed I had a sore on my tongue. And I had gone to the doctor before I left, and he had given me some mouthwash with some lidocaine because it was very painful. And I didn't tell anyone, but I knew immediately that there was something wrong. And I believed I had oral cancer. But, there's so much at times toxic positivity that I didn't want to tell anyone because I didn't want people to think I was being negative in my thinking.
Mhm.
But eventually it did not get better, and it turned out to be stage 3 squamous cell carcinoma of the tongue. And
Mm.
it had also spread to my lymph nodes.
Wow.
And that was a huge curveball in my healing process.
Yeah. And then here comes you from a place of like having challenge with the hope and then building the hope and helping the healing. Like I remember you had so many different diagnoses. You have fibromyalgia, you have lupus, you have the migraine, you have the body ache, you had digestive problems. You came with like so many challenges, overcome all of that. And then life kind of throw a completely different direction
Yes,
of curveball to it. And I remember you also mentioning how grateful you were that you were strong at that
yes.
point to be able to even handle the healing journey in a very different place with so many more tools than you would ever had a few months ago.
The day before my first surgery to remove the tumor, I took a long walk with my son. We came home and did weights. Now, all of these were things I have not done in years. We did weights, and then, we talked about getting back to that point.
Mhm.
And there's no doubt that going in as strong as I was why I came out on the other side.
I
And
have.
I beat this cancer.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you give me chills. This is so powerful, so powerful. Like what an attitude, Jennifer. That's like so inspiring, impress. Like how powerful you handle, this major curveball that came in your way, and you're like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this, and I'm gonna get to the other side, and it's gonna be fine. And you did.
Yes.
You did
Yes.
it. You healed the cancer, you complete that part of the story, and you did it all they had to do that was necessary. And then what happened? Share with us with what was the side effect of that?
Then I ended up with migraines again because I was having post-surgical nerve pain in my mouth, on my gum, in my tongue. And I've, as you mentioned, had a lot going on. That nerve pain was probably one of the worst things that I have felt. It's like a pain like none other. And I also could not move my tongue to the left at all. The cancer was on the right side, but because my tongue became tethered, and as a result of 2 surgeries, 7 chemos, and 30 radiations, everything was like fibrous and thick, and it couldn't move. Um, I would wake up every morning with a migraine, severe vertigo, and post-surgical nerve pain. And I'd have a ice pack on my head. I'd have an ice pack on my neck because I would put like ice in my mouth. Um, and then I would be in heating pads on all the other spots.
Because
Um, and I lived that way for about 6 months. And I went to a traditional physical therapist for the vertigo. And every time I went, I felt sicker after until I asked you about vertigo. And you took the time to realize that I was not able to do what the homework that they were giving me. And so you had me just lying down, closing my eyes, moving them to one side, to the other side, and doing that until, I could move to the next step, which was sitting up and doing it. Um, and it's another thing, testament to what a healer you are, is that, I mean, you saved me from that vertigo, which when the vertigo got better, the migraines got better. You helped me with the post-surgical nerve pain. I was afraid to touch it. You had me touching it, massaging it, letting it know, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Those were very, very powerful learnings for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your story is just so powerful, Jennifer. It's like I remember like your frustration of going to a speech therapist and the doctor say just gonna live with this pain. Sorry, it's nothing that you
Exactly.
can do about it. And and the regular physical therapist making things worse instead of helping. And one thing that I do remember talking to you about it was we gotta learn how to listen to your body. We gotta
Yes.
honor. We can't just follow a protocol just
Yes.
because the books say that this is what you need to be doing, your body can tolerate. We need to listen to your body. That is a book and that is a person, and not
Yes.
ours match. And I think
Yes.
as a healer, as a physical therapist, as a healthcare provider, we need to learn that. Like it's something that I really sometimes have struggled with other healthcare providers because the pushy mentality. Oh, you gotta do it. Yes, and we gotta listen to the patient first. And I think that was one of the things that I really felt like you got it. You're like, wow, I have the power here to listen to my body and know what's the best for me, even if it's someone else telling me otherwise.
That's one of the huge things that came out of my healing journey was patience. Patience at all times. When I would go into chemo, sometimes I'd have to wait an hour alone in the waiting room to go back. They didn't have a chair. And sometimes when I went to radiation, someone would have been sent in by the ambulance and I had to wait. And I'm type A. I don't want to wait, but I learned to wait. And I took that learning and applied it to my healing. And I learned to wait in my healing.
Mhm.
Not that I wasn't doing everything I could do, but I learned that it's okay. I'm on the journey.
Exactly. It's okay if
And
it
that
takes a
was
little
the
time.
other thing. Nobody talked about me ever being able to move my tongue to the left again. And you couldn't believe that. And once you said it, I thought, well, gosh, I can't believe that either. How am I supposed to talk? But you helped me with that as well. And what I learned from that is I remember you telling me the tongue is a muscle. It can get stronger. So powerful.
Yeah, and listening to you talking now, we would never guess that you had a trouble speaking before.
Thank you.
It never even crossed anybody's mind the challenge, how difficult it was for you. I remember even socially, like you having this like I don't want to go out, I'm having
Yes.
trouble speaking, people don't understand me, and totally possible. If you guys listening to this and someone told you that you're gonna have to live with whatever chronic problem that you have, listen to Jennifer's story here and dare to hope
Yeah,
because
dare to hope.
this is so powerful. It's like so many times we hear other healthcare providers say, sorry, you're just going to have to live with that. And 99% of the time, that is not the case. Like
Right.
in your case, there was so much that could be done. Like I remember doing some intraoral work, like
Yes.
we stretch the muscle, we work with the nerve, we decreasing the nervous system overactivation. There is so much that we can do, even if it's a nerve pain, or if it's the migraine, or it is any pain on the body in general. Any chronic problems, there is always so much that can be done. I'm just so grateful that you dare to hope and that you did the work and you were like you went home, you did your exercises, and in like a few sessions you're already seeing the result and you're already seeing the
Yes.
difference. It was
I
pretty
won't
incredible.
forget the first time you stretched my tongue. It felt so good. And you taught me how to stretch my own tongue. You taught me the exercises. And, you know, that's one thing in my journey with you. And sometimes when you have chronic illness, You fear becoming dependent on someone. But in all avenues, you advocated for me to learn how to take care of me. And I want to thank you for that.
Absolutely. That's the power of self-healing. I think that's the foundation of everything I teach is like, I don't want anybody depending on me. I want for you to take your life back and know that you have the tools. You can do this on your own. I'm here to support and guide you,
Yeah.
but I don't want anyone depending on me. And that's so powerful when we have that for sure. Then yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Beautiful. Okay, then we got that. Then you overcome that. You got better. And where are you now?
Now I'm in a place I couldn't have dreamed possible. Um, I spend a lot of time on self-care, and self-care is another buzzword. And for me, it's not getting my nails done or a hot bath. It is knowing when my nervous system's getting overwhelmed and how to handle it. Like, I'll be doing something with my family, but I can tell I need to break away and go quiet into, not because of a migraine, but go into like a dark, quiet room, regather myself so I can come back out stronger. I am exercising more than, yeah, I'm able to exercise so much more. I think one curveball, I got dealt another curveball that I had my colon rupture
That's
um, in December 2021. Um, and so that has prolonged the journey. But I'm able to walk, I'm able to exercise, I'm able to cook, I'm able to be there for my family. Could I have done that when I first came? No,
definitely not. Yeah. It's
no.
just incredible. Like you're like where you are now. Even I forgot about the rupture of the call. There was another major surgery. There was
Oh,
another
yeah.
2 or 3 months of recovering from the surgery and complication for the surgery. There was another major setback, and you kept the dare to hope and the gratitude and the patience and the self-care, and then you kept moving forward, even though you had a major setback there, like the mouth was starting to get better, and then you were like,
Yes.
okay, now I gotta deal with this
Yes.
digestive component, and we work on the digestive component, that got better, and look at you now, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. I love it. And what do you say that was has this healing journey surpassed your expectations?
Wow. In so many ways. Learning the tongue mobility. Um, you also help me, we haven't touched on this with my emotions,
Mm,
and the anger of things, grief. Um, I felt it all. And when I feel it now, still, there's days I wake up in grief and I just allow it. I don't try to, you know, I allow it, but I don't let it take over. I take care of it. I experience it and then I put it away. So not only physically has it surpassed where, I thought I'd be, but mental and emotionally, it's surpassed where I thought I'd be.
I love what you say. It's the processing the emotions, right? Like,
Yes.
so for someone that came from that froze state, it's like functional freeze. Everything is fine. I don't feel anything. We sometimes pass through the zone where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling too much. And then we have like those extremes.
Yeah.
And then we find the balance where you're like, oh, I can feel it all and I can process it all. And then
Yeah.
it's not in the body. It's not causing us the challenges or making us sick. Then you're
Yes.
able to just kind of feel the feelings, process the feelings, and just go back and have fun with your family.
Yes.
And one thing I heard you say also that was so important there, that was such an important skill, is you didn't wait for the migraine. Like when you say, I need a dark room, I needed to reset, I'm overstimulated, I'm overwhelmed, I needed to reset my nervous system. Right? The
Yes.
migraine is like you totally push it, you overdid it, you totally crossed the line.
Yes.
You are getting to the point now, and that's kind of the mastery that we talk about it. Like you have so much more body awareness that you can sense, okay, I'm crossing my line here. I gotta
Yeah.
respect my body. I need to listen to my body. What can I do? How can I do the self-care that you're talking about? What does my body need right now that it doesn't get to the migraine anymore?
Yes. Yes.
So good.
I've even gone shopping, which to many chronically ill people is one of the hardest things. Your advice to me was sit down for 5 minutes. And again, going back to that type A, I didn't want to sit down for 5 minutes. I don't want to stop. But now I force myself to stop when I know it, because I know if I stop, I'm going to regain my strength and be able to go back to what I'm doing.
Exactly. And that goes back to that listening to your body, right? It's like the mind is telling you go, 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 go. And that's the nervous system overworking the habits. And then your body is saying like, okay, I need a break. I'm getting tired here. You gotta listen to me. And then the more you listen to your body, the less flare up you have and the faster you heal. It's
Yeah.
incredible. So good. Okay, then when you first started, what was your biggest concern or hesitation about starting my program? And what did
My
you find?
biggest concern was, and I had been sick for 16 years. My biggest concern, truthfully, was being taken advantage of, because I had been taken advantage of many times. Um, and being dependent on someone. So my biggest concern was also my message now, that dare to hope. And I took a leap. I had a gut feeling when I met you at the lupus support group meeting. I had a gut feeling that you could help me. And I'm so glad I took that complimentary phone call with you. And I remember you saying, well, when do you want to get started? And I said, well, I can't next week. And you said, but don't you want to get better? And I said, yeah, but I can't for the next few weeks. And now I see why you wanted me to start, because you knew you could help me.
Yeah.
You told my mother that. I know I can help her.
Yeah. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Your mom was so concerned about you, so concerned. You're like, I'm fine. I don't need anything. I'm okay. And then your mom came to me. She's like, do you think you can help her? And I was like, yes, absolutely. And I remember when we have the discovery session, you're like, I don't know, like I'm fine. I can be the way I am. Like I don't need to get better. And that's kind of when I tossed the question. I was like, don't you want to get even better than where you are? And
Yes.
that made you pause and it's like, oh, it can't be better?
Yeah.
Because you
Yep.
were in such a functional freeze that was like, it's fine, even though you had no energy, you in pain all over, like you feeling so miserable. And we get so
Yep.
used to that. That
Yeah.
becomes the normal. It's like it's so challenging when you're dealing with chronic pain for so long because that becomes your reality and that's all you know. And I'm
Yes.
so glad that you kind of broke through the ice on that day and be like, oh, it's possible to be better? Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It's totally
Yeah.
possible. Oh, so good. I love it. And what did you feel like you found instead? What was the difference of my approach with you?
First of all, I think what one of the things that helped me most was my connection with you.
Mm.
We had a deep level of trust. Um, and you don't find that with a lot of healers. Um, so I believe, that having that deep connection of trust was one of the biggest things that helped me heal. I'm sorry, I forgot the question, and I'll just be honest with you.
Now, I was saying, well, what was the difference? You answered the question. What's the
Okay.
difference of
Oh,
my approach? Because I know you had many different trials before and things that worked
yes.
and didn't work. What was the biggest difference between my approach that you feel like they help you the most?
You weren't from the medical model and you took time. And I think really it was a lot of feminine energy. You were open, you were very encouraging, you made me feel heard, all of that.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. And I think coming from that place of functional freeze, that was even more important for you.
Yes,
You validated and heard. I do that with all my patients because that's just my personality, but especially in your condition, I feel like that was even more important for you for sure. That's beautiful. What was about the program that you feel like that you enjoyed the most?
the online program
The
or
academy.
the academy. I
Mhm.
loved the support of the academy. I loved, you know, it was a positive space for me. So even if I couldn't do a lot, I could log on and see what other people were doing. I could share parts of my journey and get support. Um, I think it was the connection, really. And during the meetings, when we did the breakout rooms, just getting to know people better, you
Mhm.
know people going through a lot of things like I'm going through, I was going through, that connection, the community, that's what made the difference.
Beautiful. And that's just so powerful, like having other people around you that are going through the same thing, they understand you. It doesn't feel so alone. Right? Like
Right,
being
right.
chronic pain, chronic problems for so long, it can feel like, oh, I'm the only human being that's going through this. And it's
Yes.
not.
Because
There's
you
so
see so
many.
many people who are normal,
Yeah.
you look at their social media and you think, now, how could they possibly do all that? I'm never going to be able to do all that. So
Mhm.
having that like-minded connection.
So true. So true. And as far as the academy goes, what was your favorite features?
Hmm. Well, I think I loved that it was self-paced.
Mm,
Because I could go, you told me the faster I listen and learn, the quicker I'll heal. And I'm going to add the faster I listen, learn, and apply, the quicker I'll heal. And I just, I just immersed myself and I saw immediate results, which was absolutely powerful
so
and
good.
beyond my expectation.
Beautiful, beautiful. You definitely immerse yourself. I remember that. I was like, she's on it. I love it. And you could
Uh-huh.
see the results and you're like excited about it and you're celebrating all the results and you're getting more results for sure. That was, yeah, that's so amazing. Who do you recommend to join the academy?
Wow. Well, really, I mean, I think anyone could benefit from the academy because we're all students of ourselves, you know. So I would say anyone could join, but specifically people with chronic illness that have been, maybe through 9 doctors and, four different diagnoses, and also people with emotional difficulties, physical and emotional difficulties, and people who just want to get to know themselves better,
Mm,
because that is what it was self-discovery.
Mission accomplished. There we go. Yes, 'cause
Mhm.
that's the goal of the whole idea of self-healing, right? It's like no matter what you're dealing with, it's building that foundation. The more you know yourself, the more you have the body awareness, the easier it will be for you to master self-healing. Then so well described there. So good. Okay, this is so good. Is there what would be the three tips that
Uh-huh.
you'd like all your friends and families know about it, based on what you learned so far?
Okay, I've touched on some of them.
Mhm.
You've got to believe it's possible. You have to dare to hope. You've got to believe it can get better. Patience with the process, ups and downs. Things for me were not a straight line. And as you mentioned, things often aren't a straight line. Um, Doing the work every day, giving it your all every day. Even if I only have 25% to give today, I'm going to give 100% of that. And I wish everyone knew that. Um, Always be grateful. There's always something to be grateful for. It could be having a house, having food, having clean water, just finding the good in what you have currently.
So good. I hope everybody took notes. If you haven't taken notes, come back, listen to that again, because that was so good. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Jennifer, before we kind of close for today? That's so good.
Um, uh, I did not become dependent on you.
Mm,
Yeah, I just want to, since that was one of the things I was concerned about, I was able to use the tools you've taught me and I can now manage myself. And I know you're there if I ever need a tune up, but you empowered me. How many doctors, how many healthcare professionals really empower you? You empowered me.
mm. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. This is so beautiful. I love it. I think that's so important. Like, no matter what professional, like I heard something before, because I think medical trauma is a thing that we really need to bring awareness to it. And
Oh yeah.
especially when we deal with chronic problems, been there, done that multiple times, left doctor's office like boiling, crying because of the way that I was treated. And I think it's so important for me, the empowerment component. And I heard something before to say, the way that you leave the doctor's office or the professional, whoever you're working with, the way that you leave their office, it's telling you if you're moving forward with your healing or if you're moving backwards.
Yeah.
And that's always been my deepest desire and goals is for each person to leave my office, for each academy meeting that we have, for everything that I put it out there, is for each one of you feel empowered by.
I didn't know that, but you definitely did that.
Yeah, for me, it is so important, especially because I've been there. I had the experience and I know the other side, right? And I feel like it's so important. It like someone experience like that, it can set us back for like a week or two
Oh yeah.
just to process all the trauma and what the person told you and never gonna be done, or like the way that you treated the abuse, the passive aggressive
Yes.
experience, like the oh, it's all in your head, like
Oh, I've been
it's
told that.
yeah, like a lot of people, unfortunately, it's such a common problem and it's so wrong. Like,
Or my favorite is, well, you're too young for that.
and doesn't solve the problem.
No, it
Or
makes me feel bad about, well, I guess I am too young, but it's happening.
let's work on it, yeah. Or the opposite, or you just too old, you're gonna have to live with that,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And it's like
I
for
could see
me,
that.
that's such an important piece to do the opposite, to be the opposite. It just overwhelming with happiness to hear that was like one of your biggest experiences, like the empowerment, because that's really one of my biggest goal. And it's important, I think, with any healthcare provider, like if I can leave a message to anybody that's listening, is we need to ask the healthcare provider because we do not deserve to be mistreated, to be abusive relationships. We don't like the gaslighting, none of this is okay.
Right,
Like, and as a patient, we needed to learn how to advocate for ourselves, and I think that starts right there, like having other experience, knowing that that is not the way, that is not the right way.
right.
Empowerment is the way, feeling confident, feeling good about it, like, wow, this person has my back. That's the path.
Collaboration.
Exactly, teamwork, right? It's like
Yeah.
that's so important. That's what's going to make the biggest difference for us to move forward with our healing journey. And then that was such a perfect closure for our conversation because that's such an important topic. That is amazing. All right, that was so good. I hope you guys took notes because there was so many wonderful tips here today and wisdom share. And Jennifer's story just like really warms my heart and brings, like she said, a dare to hope. It's definitely that summary all. That thank you so
Yeah.
much, Jennifer, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a long time coming. I've wanted to get to this point where I could do this. So thank you.
You did it. You totally did it. And thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoy, make sure you subscribe to our channel, leave us a review, and share our podcast with anyone that you know that needs to improve their health. If you are watching this on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we upload a new video. If you want to work with me and have a similar experience in this amazing journey, just like Jennifer, and you want to learn how to ignite your self-healing abilities so you can save time, money, and pain, send me a private message and let's schedule a free discovery session. And if you are ready to reclaim your life and heal from chronic pain, join Be Health Academy. Be Health Academy is a science-based program that offers accountability, pain science education, stress management techniques, ways to shift the mindset, increase body awareness, techniques to release the trauma from the body, and so much more. Because we know with the right resources, you have the ability to heal yourself too. You don't have to do it alone. Let me show you the way. Join Be Health Academy. And that's it for today. Keep it up with the good work. I will talk to you later. And until then, be healthy.